And I think it's funny because how connected we are via like, internet and apps and, FaceTime and text and calling and everything. We can't connect in person. Like, especially the younger generation, it's terrible.
It's so bad.
I got to deal with this at work all the time. And like a lot of, there's a few that are good, but I would say the majority of like the younger kids that come in don't know how to talk to somebody in person. Like, they'll just sit there. They won't say anything to you. If you go up to them, you're like, oh, how are you doing today? Fine. How's your leg feel? Good. You get like these one-word answers. They won't look at you. You can't get them to look you in the eye and have a conversation. Like, they're like looking away or like, all over the place. They can't hold a conversation. And I'm like, why do I feel like this would be a different story if I was sitting here with this, texting back and forth, even though we're sitting 2 feet from each other? If I was sitting here texting this person, why do I feel like this would be a different conversation?
And getting all the emojis and everything too.
And that's crazy because you're actually working with this individual. It's not like, it's not like you're walking into the grocery store and saying hi to the person up front.
Right.
Like, you're working with this person, and they can't give you more than one word responses.
Mm. Yeah. And even going into the grocery store, it's like you can't even like talk to somebody and be like, wow, what kind of crazy weather we're having today. They look at you like you're weird.
So that's, I think that's just a cultural thing, and like depending on what area you're in too. Like some places, it's just weird to talk to random people, but in like other places, it's perfectly fine to talk to people. So I think that's a cultural thing, and I think it's just a communication thing too. So like what I always think about when it comes to like technology is like technology, it ruins our moments of like silence. So like think about when you're like just sitting in a waiting room, like at a doctor's office or something. Now you can just be playing on your phone, doing whatever you want. And like, just imagine like 20 years ago, you're sitting there in that waiting room. What are you going to do? Like, you would probably talk to the person waiting in that waiting room with you or something like that. So technology, it fills those gaps of just like moments that you're doing nothing. And even when like, just anytime like throughout the day, it's like you're always doing something because you always have your phone on you, so you can always do something. And how often do people honestly just sit there and just not think, or they just sit there not doing anything? It gives them a moment to think. I always think about that. Like I know everyone brings their phone when they go to the bathroom. Like, it's something that everyone does, but imagine just 10, 20, like imagine when you didn't have your phone, you went to the bathroom and just sitting there thinking. Now people can't even people can't even think it. Like people can't imagine not watching YouTube videos or something while they're going to the bathroom. It's just like, what's wrong with people? What's wrong with nothing? What's wrong with having nothing going on in your life?
I plead guilty.
Guilty.
Yeah, I've gone back. I've gone back for my phone.
Yeah,
gone to the bathroom,
pants around his ankles and everything.
I need my entertainment.
It's funny you say this because I got my first phone when I was 16, I think, and because I grew up in a big family and we didn't have a lot of money, so I had to buy my own phone with my first paycheck. That's what my first paycheck went to. So I noticed that change where I started to bring my phone everywhere I went, and since recognizing that, I mean, I've tried to, leave the phone on the counter, like when I use the bathroom or whatever, just like little things. And we have to, I mean, everyone has a cell phone nowadays. So I think we just need to kind of be on top of it and just don't get too attached to it. Because if you think of it, we're all kind of like, what do you call them? Like cyborgs or whatever. Because we have like this attachment to us. It's like part of us.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's crazy because, I mean, now like, look at that. This little thing is a computer. It's an entire computer you carry around in your pocket. Like, I think that's where the big change happened, because I mean, everybody, when cell phones came out and you had flip phones and stuff, the issue wasn't as bad because like you could call, you could text, but like, for the most part, that was really all you could do with the older phones. Like, you could go on the internet, but it was awful.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
And then when like smartphones came out, it's like now I went from like, okay, I can send a text or make a call. Now I have literally the entire internet. I have the whole world literally at my fingertips right here.
Yep.
I think that's where like the big change happened, because I noticed like I never had, like a lot of the state of the art phones when I was younger. We didn't have like a ton of money when I was a kid, so I didn't get a cell phone until I was in like, I don't know, freshman year of high school. And then when I did get a cell phone, it was like the most basic phone that you could get. So, I mean, I noticed it with like a lot of my friends because they would constantly be on their phones, and like I didn't see the, the benefit of that because all my phone did.